Do you want to start the game again?
Welcome back to Mystical Everyday Heroes, or Meh. The Dungeons & Dragons podcast about people who are not mystical nor heroic, just everyday folks trapped in towers and taking on trees.
Yeah.
Hiya! Hiya! That's me taking on a tree.
That's amazing. We have with us on our fine podcast, Jay Salisbury, playing the sloppy soup stasher, Meryl Cheep.
That's
Sloppy
me.
soup stasher.
The hash-slinging sloppy soup stasher. Hi, everybody. So my everyday fact for you on this, the most normal and everyday of days. I figured we would go through just like a little fun, especially since it came up in the last episode. For the next couple fun facts, we'll go through some of the things that are in Meryl's coat of many colors, if you will. In all of his hidden pockets of his amazing circus coat. So, this is his ringmaster's coat that he was given when he was elected the ringmaster by the company of the circus troupe that he was with before he went on this expedition with y'all. And so the outside it's like a long leather trench coat, but the inside looks like a circus tent. It's got like it's lined with like the fabric from like a circus tent, and it's got like a million pockets. And it's not like the shady like, do you want to buy some candy? Not that sort of a coat, you know. It's just got like a lot of pockets and a lot of secrets. So obviously he has thing 2, and he has his own little penthouse pocket. He's got his own little hand pocket. We know about the soup. Another one of the pockets has a D20 in it, actually. Canonically.
Really?
Yeah. It's his lucky dice.
That is so amazing
Yeah.
that he has lucky
Sounds
dice.
dicey.
Does sound dicey next to his soup.
Yep. He has a lucky dice, and when he's really having a hard time making a decision, he rolls that dice. And that helps him. Very meta.
Very meta. We also have Kailyn Kroll playing the Boulder Buster, halfling barbarian Stan Smallman.
Boulder Buster. I love that. I want to put that on a t-shirt. Stan's fact for the day is that he is quite scared of the dark, but usually he just closes his eyes and then he doesn't realize it's dark, so he's not scared anymore.
That is awesome.
I'm amazed we got through this intellectual challenge. That's
Wow.
We also have Stephie Patterson playing the small hole squirrel, half elf druid Misphi.
Small hole squirrel.
Small hole squirrel. That's nuts.
Ah!
My everyday fact is, as a child, Misphi wanted to grow up to be an animal doctor.
Aww.
That's it.
And now
That's
she's
it.
literally an animal. So
And took a big drink
Well,
of
I'm
something. thinking I was
literally an
gonna have
animal.
time.
Yeah.
50% of a dream come true.
A squirrel.
You put a Band-Aid on yourself and you're like, nailed it.
I healed myself.
We also have Matt Rail as the wanted but waylaid Elf Ranger Alfonso. Where is he?
Oh, God,
But
we
he's
miss
not
him
here.
so.
We want him, but he's waylaid somewhere afar.
We miss you so.
We also today are very
That was it.
fortunate. We also today are very fortunate to have Corey Patterson, our normal community manager, playing the BFG, Big Friendly Goliath, Jilroy.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, hey guys, I am the BFG, your
always-
big friendly guy.
I was so
The big
shook by what
guy.
that stood for. Like, as like a 10-year-old, I was like, that means a swear word, doesn't
That
it?
means
And everyone's
a
like,
swear
no,
word.
it's the big friendly giant. And I'm like, that's not what I thought it meant.
That's not at all what
Like
anybody
10.
thought that was.
Yeah.
So not necessarily a fun fact, more like just sad fact in Jilroy's eyes. So Jilroy is very psychologically broken. He is practically dead inside with his confidence and everything in between.
Wow.
I guess the best way to put it in Jilroy's mind would be from a very famous singer that sings the song, I Am Not Okay.
That's wow. But wait, would you say that he's confident as their guide?
Jilroy is confidence has boosted severely because of they passed the first test, so he is super excited.
Nice.
So we're helping him as he helps us.
That's beautiful.
Damn it, that's so cute.
Oh. We also have Matthew Boston as our sound producer, and we have me, Brandy Boston, as the Empress of this fine podcast, among other things, doing the voice of human fighter TJ Town Justice Merriweather.
Tim Jiggity.
Damn.
I thought you were going to spit your Mondo everywhere.
I almost did. That was close.
I'm going to try for a new one every time you say TJ.
That's
At the
I
beginning of
hope so.
each
You'll see
episode.
how difficult it is.
I will try it. I'll try it.
Let's talk about what happened last episode in Loreland, and boy, it was a doozy.
Doos.
Our heroes found themselves locked in an interdimensional tower that was focused on testing the players through various challenges. They met their guide Jilroy, a large fangirl in Goliath, who admitted to watching them on his shiny balls. Jilroy was so excited to meet the heroes and tasked them with going back to their original quest of finding the Four. Jilroy was able to see in his shiny balls the creature that inhabited the mayor was the same one defeated by the Four, the original adventuring party, in the past. Since the creature summoned the tower, Jilroy revealed that the creature had to be a god or demon that made a pact with the mayor, as a regular mortal would never be able to invoke the tower. Alfonzo, being of nobility, was protected by the summons to the tower and was instead pulled to his home in Aerith. In order to leave the tower with their lives and not get stuck there, the heroes would have to complete the 3 trials. Jilroy admitted that despite his confidence as a guide, this was actually the first group that he would be leading through the trials. The trials that Jilroy himself was never able to complete because the psychological challenge broke him. After the heroes completed the first challenge of intelligence, which is notably not their strong suit, by calling upon their knowledge of themselves, they were brought back to the tower lobby, their spell slots and health returned, and the passage for the second trial opened. And that's where we are now.
Whoa.
Dun dun dun. Do, 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 do.
As our players walk through, the portal is black. It's made of paper that had been rolled and tarnished and almost burned to ash in different places as it's sculpted into this portal that the players are able to walk through. In what order are we walking through this portal?
I think Meryl probably realizes it would be a good idea if he went first.
I'll be behind Meryl.
Because he's the tallest and got big wings to cover everyone up, and he's feeling pretty confident after that performance and figuring out that riddle. So he's strutting a little bit.
I'm definitely in the back with my eyes closed because it looks really dark in there.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll say that TJ is behind Misphi, and then we have Stan. And Jilroy, are you in the back?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So as Meryl, Misphi, TJ, and Stan go through this narrow passage, you each find the paper that's around making up the walls unfurls longer and longer into this tunnel. And Meryl, let's start with what you see. So as this paper unfurls, the paper gets taller, the passage gets taller, it gets willowy almost like the curtains or the fabric of a tent. As they reach up toward the sky, the colors start to shift. Still black, but now with whites and dark blues and bright reds as the colors swirl in fantastical colors and patterns. And as we see, you find that Misphi and TJ and Stan are no longer behind you. Instead, it is only you and Jilroy as you walk, and you start to smell the familiar smells of popcorn and candied apples and hear the raucous laughter of crowds, and you feel the energy in the air of your home in the circus. And you recognize that this is the traveling circus. This is home that you have found yourself in. What do you do?
Wow. Where'd everybody go? Hi, Jilroy.
Hi, Meryl.
Well, this is quite nice. Is this the second trial?
So, from the looks of it, we have started the second trial.
Well, this isn't so bad.
So,
Back. This
yeah,
is great.
So, during this, you will be going through this trial alone, while the others will be going through their trials alone. I notice, is this your circus? Is this where you?
Yes, they must have missed their ringmaster.
Well, why don't you show me around, Meryl? I'm super excited. Show me what this is all about. Tell me about it. And
Wow.
Let me meet people.
Well, all right.
So before you have a chance to really say anything, from on the other side of this tent, you can see the shadow of somebody with really long arms, like a spotlight being shown on them as they raise their arms up, and a massive audience cheers, and they're like, whoa. And then you see the shadow of the trapeze artist as they sling through the air. And you can tell it's just on the other side of this tent. You'll have to go outside of this tent and go around to the main entrance.
Looks like we need to go outside of this tent and go around to the main entrance.
I'm following you.
All right, well, he kind of takes a fond look around because it's nice to be back. You know, he misses the circus. This is what he knows. So it's nice to be back. But yes, he will lead Jilroy out of the tent and around probably to the main entrance, I would say.
Okay, so at the main entrance, you hear a familiar voice of your guys' carnival barker. And he's yelling at all of the people who are coming, kind of walking by, even though they know that they're there for the circus. He still wants to drum up that excitement. He's like, step right up. You too can be part of the circus. Everyone, come to Cirque Day sold out.
Yeah, I tried to get him to change the name. I wasn't really sure. It just sounded too much like something else, but I couldn't place it.
You there in the hat, please come on down. Take off that hat and put it in the ring for the ringmaster. We all could use a little extra hats up in here. Hats off to you, sir. Please come on down, lady in the front. Yes, even though your baby is a squawking doesn't mean you can't stop walking. Let's keep it on going. And he's calling everybody into the circus tent, and people are paying tickets, waving money left and right. The energy is alive, and you see walking up there that the carnival barker recognizes you. Oh, and now we even have here our long-lost Meryl, Cheep. Meryl, welcome, please. Come, step right up. Would you like to buy a ticket?
Roger!
Meryl!
It's been a while. It's great to see you. You're still out here rustling up business.
There's no business like the Barker business.
There's not for markers.
And he sees over at Jilroy. Hi, Roger Marker, Carnival Barker, come on down. Would you like to buy a ticket? Please, come on down to the circus.
This is my friend Jilroy. He's my guest tonight. He doesn't need a ticket. He's going to enjoy the show for free. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't know about that. Does the boss seem to like that idea? Have you talked to the boss lately? Where have you been? Yeah, I haven't seen you in weeks.
Wait. The boss, I thought you were the ringmaster.
I was going to say, now, Barker, come on. I mean, I know, we all share responsibility for our amazing show here, but...
Oh, I've been here before. I know what's going on.
Maybe I missed something. I don't understand. I just want to bring my friend Jilroy to say hello to the family.
Oh, well, we'd love for you to come. Why don't you just step over here to the side of the tent? And then he calls to somebody, hey, take over barking for me. And he pulls you off to the side. And as he pulls you off to the side, we're going to switch gears to Misphi. So as Misphi, you're walking behind Meryl. Suddenly Meryl kind of becomes one with the paper, and he kind of folds into like an origami shape into the side.
Meryl, where are you going?
Into the side of the tunnel. And the tunnel itself changes and starts to flake away, like the paper's being ripped and reformed and reshaped as it starts to create sound every time you step, to be the sounds of leaves on the fallen ground, or fallen leaves on the ground. And you step on there, it's crinkling, it's autumn. And you smell just like the rustle of the trees and the birds, and all of you hear the rustle of the trees and the birds. And this is an area that you recognize, even though it's folded into origami shapes, but you feel the same feelings that you get when you're home. And you recognize that as you're walking into Yerkwood. And behind you, again, no longer is TJ with you, but instead everybody's gone except for Jilroy.
Jilroy, is this the second trial?
This is the second trial. And it appears, from what I know about you, that you are home.
My home. I haven't been here in so long. I missed it.
Circe calls from your shoulder. She's like, ah!
Yeah, Circe, we're home, I think.
And as you start to see the world shape around you, you can tell, like, in part of you, you know that this is formed from origami. And it's formed from the tower, but the essence, the sounds, the smells, the senses are so real. that it fades away from you, this idea that this isn't true, that as far as you can tell, this is exactly the home that you left. So what would you do?
Well, I'm gonna go try to find my mom. But, Jilroy, I want you to meet my mom.
I would love to. Let's go. Take me to your mom. Show me around.
So I'm gonna paint a partial picture, but because this is your hometown, I want you to interject with wherever you feel like the story goes, okay? So as you lead him down this path, this is a ruddy road. You recognize people that, have been around since your childhood. You wave at people. They're excited to see you again.
Hi, Fred.
Misphi, it's good to see you, kiddo. Come on. Hey, how have you been? I haven't seen you in ages.
I've been doing pretty good. I found my own little pack, and it's been fun.
That's good. And more people kind of pop out, and he's like, hey, Misphi's here. And they pop out, oh, hi, Misphi. Oh, and they, just everybody who has been around since you were raised there have just kind of popped out and said a quick hello. As you keep walking down this road, you pass the Lucky Clover, the bar, the restaurant that's on the side of the road, and you just keep going.
This is the bar where I found my jumping spider, Lucky.
Oh, Lucky. I remember Lucky.
Yeah, me too.
And you take the familiar twists and turns that kind of put you in the village until you see your family's house, the house that you grew up in. And it looks exactly the same. As you walk up, the white picket fence that's woven with different natural herbs that you had planted whenever you were a kid, and all of the little parts and pieces of glass that you and your mom had made of different animals had been perched on top of the different fence posts, where you guys had glued them down using different natural stuff that your mom was so into because she knew it brought a smile to your face. As you go into this house, nobody immediately comes rushing out to greet you necessarily, but this is it. This is home.
Mama, where are you? I got someone I want you to meet. Huh.
And
Hello?
It's silence.
And Misphi starts to kind of tear up a little bit.
Do you go forward?
Yeah, I start looking around. I go into the living room, kind of look around, and try to look for signs of her.
Roll a perception check. 13. So with a 13, you recognize that this house, it's been lived in, but it feels stale somehow. And as you start to peek around a little bit, we're gonna switch over to TJ. So TJ, as he was walking, again, everything kind of folded away. He once again, Misphi and Meryl disappeared in front of them. He reached out to try to touch Misphi, but she became one with the folded pieces and parts of the parchment. Behind him, he was feeling to try to get Stan to grab his pants. Stan was not available. And
Stan's not available.
please leave a message. So as he walks forward, he kind of looks around, and the parchment disintegrates basically into the familiar cobblestones of Bridgmond. And he again sees Jilroy behind him as he walks toward his townhome in Bridgmond. And he's like, Jilroy, dude, I'm super stoked to see you. But I really was hoping you were Misphi, or maybe even my best friend Stan, or even Meryl. Where did they go? Because this whole habit of taking my friends away is not my favorite, man.
Yeah, bro. Sorry. So, you have started your second trial, and you are going to be by yourself. They are all off doing their own trial, and you can get back to them by completing this trial. But hey, it looks like we are in Bridgmond, right? Your hometown, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You didn't know this, but that's weird. We were just in a tower and now we're in my house. So come on, I guess you can meet my mom. She's pretty cool. You want to LARP in my basement? Here, come on. And so he goes and he opens up the door to his house. And as he opens it, like the two of you hear just this unrestrained laughter from his mom and another young woman. And as you guys walk in, everything looks exactly the same way that it did in what you would remember as like the ball, where you were recounting the moments where they met his parents. But instead of seeing his mom and just some random person, it's his mom and his cousin Leader. And Leader has returned to Bridgman, and they are so excited to see each other. And his dad is even there, Cheep, wearing like what would constitute as a smile if it was on literally anybody else, but instead on Cheep, it's almost like a grimace. And he's like, Leader, my Lily. This is my cousin Lily. She's really cool. And she's like, oh, TJ, hi. I didn't think you were coming back here. That's so wild. I saw your parents. Oh, who's this? And he's like, well, this is my friend, my new bro, because all my old bros, something happened to them. But this is my new bro, Jilroy. And so yeah, we were gonna LARP in our basement, except I'm because I'm challenging stuff, and so I'm pretty sure LARPing is part of my challenge. Because why wouldn't it be, right? So anyway, what are you guys up to? And Lily says, oh, well, we're just getting ready for like a little ceremony. It's no big deal. And he's like, oh, that's cool. That actually sounds pretty awful, but I'm happy for you. Is it Elias? Are you getting married? That's cool. And I'm engaged. I'm engaged right now, so it'll be me soon. You know, you just put it on your calendar. We don't have a date yet or a ring, but we're getting there.
Put it on your calendar.
And she's like, oh, no, TJ, it's not that kind of ceremony. And she looks at Cheep, and TJ gets the very odd sense that they're not telling him something. And that's when we're going to switch over to Stan. So Stan, you were the last one in this pant train.
Pant train.
The
caboose, if you will.
And you are shorter than everybody else. So as you're kind of like looking up in this very dark tunnel, do you have your eyes closed?
Still, yes.
Yes. Okay.
I can open them if it's more convenient for the story.
No, you have your eyes closed as you're walking, and then you feel more than see the heat of the sun on your skin. And as you come out of the tunnel, you feel wind, but like a really warm, nice wind. And the sounds of other halfling children, like children playing and wrestling in the dirt. And you hear a familiar tiny rodent bark that could only be the childhood friend that you once held so dear. As you open up your eyes, you see on the plains of this open field that has a bunch of these small structures on it, you see your friend Polly, the prairie dog, in front of you.
Oh.
Jilroy, are your eyes open too?
Yes.
Well, you're just really tall, so it's hard for me to tell. Is this real life?
This would be your second test, your second trial, if you will. Everything you're seeing is as real as the tower wants it to be.
Well, that was very ambiguous, but I'll take the answer. I have someone I'd like you to meet. Are you afraid of dogs?
No, I don't think
What about the prairie kind?
I don't think so. I mean, I've seen them, but I've never actually seen them. I've never left the tower.
Great. Okay. Well, since you're out and we're here, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Polly, who I haven't seen in so long. Come with me. And walk over to where Polly is, and Stan picks her up.
Polly is surprised to see you, but she barks. She does that prairie dog bark. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. All right.
I love that.
So, as you pick up Polly, She turns to you and she just, as soon as she sees you, like she first sounds very indignant about being picked up, but then she realizes who it is and she's like, hey. And you just like, she scuttles up against your neck and then like into your hair and then like down to your feet and nuzzles against the dirt on your feet. And she is so excited to see you.
She specifically goes down to my feet because in order to make sure it's really me, she checks for the extra toe.
Yes, and she nuzzles right in between your two ring toes.
Yeah.
Ring toe? No, I'm sorry, but there will
Be kind to my feet. Anyway, big guy, this is my tiny friend Polly. She's probably never seen anybody as tall or as large as you before, so just give her a minute, but she might just crawl up and say hi if you wanted to.
I would love to. And Jilroy just kind of like tries to bend over as best he can and just like puts both hands openly just on the ground.
And Polly looks at them and she sniffs them and she realizes that they're not dirty enough for her. And so she just kind of, and then she turns around and she scampers away. And when she scampers away, like she scampers off into like this huddle that's on the ground. That's kind of like nearby a house that you recognize as one of the ones that the children use as like a playroom outside. And so what do you do? Are you going to follow her?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm sorry she didn't want to say hi. She's got a thing about dirt. You must just not have enough of it being in that tower for so long and all. But we'll go see what she wants. She's never led me astray before, so come along.
I will follow you.
So as as Polly brings you like toward this hovel, you can see that there are, she doesn't go inside the hovel, and you recognize that this is because prairie dogs stay outside during the daytime, but there are significantly more prairie dogs that are spending time with Polly than when you left. So you are finding like that she is now living in a family group with other prairie dogs. And she goes up next to a prairie dog and she like kind of like picks at one and nuzzles another and kind of calls to you and then just picks at one and goes, and then she nods towards you. And kind of cocks her head at the other ones and they all kind of as a family go, and then they ignore you and go back to what they were doing. And Polly looks confused at this.
Polly, you've certainly made a lot of friends since I've been gone. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't leave you too lonely. Do they like me?
Polly looks at you. Roll a perception check.
Oh boy, well I got a nat 1.
Okay.
Classic Stan.
I'm trying to remember, the lucky feat only applies on attack rolls, right?
Lucky feet?
My feet are
Saving
lucky.
throws. Attack rolls and saving throws.
Okay, yeah, so it
that's
wouldn't
what
apply to
checks.
this. Stan has an ability that Stan doesn't realize Stan has called the Lucky Feet because he's a halfling.
Lucky feet.
Not like Lucky Feet, but F-E-A-T.
I like it because of his feet, though. It should be F-E-E-T.
It does work well.
Which allows him to re-roll nat ones on attack rolls. Anyway, so when you look at, Polly just looks like Polly. Polly just looks at Polly's normal chipper self. And she turns her back to her colony, her coteries. And she comes back and she's investigating your toe a bit more and like trying to tap your toe and then taps her head and taps your toe and taps her head. And we're going to move back to Meryl while you ponder that.
Ponder that toe.
So Meryl, you are with Roger Marker on the side of the tent.
Carnival Barker.
Roger Marker, the Carnival Barker. And what do you have to say to him?
Well, Roger, I know it's been a while. I figured you'd heard, but I needed to step away for a moment because this very crazy kind of thing came up, and I was worried I was gonna have to keep the carnival safe, and I guess I was just gone a little bit longer than I thought. But how have things been going?
Oh, they've been going very well. Very, very well indeed, Meryl. Now listen, look, this isn't personal, obviously, but you have to understand the carnival had to keep going. You know, the circus had to have a ring leader.
Right. I mean, of course, I understand. You know, there's always an understudy.
Yes, he's doing quite well, in fact. So are you back?
It looks like I am. Absolutely. Yes. I mean, I'm not exactly sure where I am or what's going on. Am I back? Jilroy?
You are here.
Okay.
As in person as can be.
Okay.
Just keep in mind that you are still in the tower.
Dang it. Okay. Well, sure, I'm back.
Well, that's great. So listen, not one to sugarcoat things. However, if you are happening to walk around, you might see some things that have been a little bit different since you left.
That makes sense. You know, it's been a couple of days.
Yeah. So you know that fire breather that you had been spending some time with a while back.
Yes. Do you?
Dexter's Scary Pants.
Hey, Meryl. Fun fact: did you know that fire breathing has been linked to cause cancer, gum disease, and weakened teeth?
That makes sense. Yeah. I would never switch all that shit around in my mouth, but you know, I was always trying to tell him that.
And you hear the Roger be like, yes, the cancer of the mouth. Yeah. Rydrin does have a bit of a swishing effect nowadays. He's been spitting a lot more, but you know, I'm sure you probably recall him doing a little bit of that. But it's
remind me of his name one more time.
Rydrin.
Rydrin. Ooh,
Rydrin.
That's kind of sexy.
Yeah, Rydrin's hot.
Yeah, he is hot. Yeah, I remember that. Get it? Because he's a fire breather. Mr. Marker, always so funny. So I'm sorry. What has he been up to? You know, I mean, that I care.
Again, not going to sugarcoat it. It's not really what he's been up to, but more who he's been up with. So you should probably know that he might be with the new ringmaster. That, you know, so just, you know, again, not a big deal. You guys are over it, right? But that way, whenever you guys see all of the people, you know, around when you see him with the new ringmaster, they're quite the dynamic duo. People are coming from all over to see the two of them together. It's quite.
That is, yeah. So that's exciting. I'm just wondering. I remember talking about an understudy, and you keep saying new ringmaster.
Meryl, I just want to say, buddy, if you need a hug, I'm here. I'm here for you.
Thank you, Jilroy. I really appreciate that. I do. I would more like to know who is stepping up to, you know, I mean, I understand someone has to step up to fill in until I get back. So who is that? Could I maybe just, you know, chat with them and see how things are going?
Well, he's a little bit busy right now leading the circus, but do you remember the Count Ringo?
Of course I remember Count Ringo.
Yes. Yeah, that lizard guy. You know, back then he was just part of the sideshow. You had actually been one of the people who helped him out, which is, you know, again, really great noble cause.
I remember that. We have a history.
Yeah.
Ringo and I.
Yes.
Everyone always forgot about him.
Yeah, well...
I'm sure Ringo was a star.
Yeah. That's what I was just thinking. God, he'd make a great one, but nobody ever remember it.
Well, except that now he's on all of the posters.
Oh, good for him.
Yes, yeah. Well,
for
so
him.
anyway,
he was always,
he's been doing really well. He's
the kids
stepped
are
up
not
a
gonna
lot
get that joke.
as you stepped away, and so you know, you know, actually. I think that this would be really great. Why don't you just come in and see the show? I think maybe that would really, you know, just come on in. You and your friend, come. And I'm sure Ringo would be fine if I just gave you the tickets for today.
I mean, I would think so because I live here, right? So should be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
Yeah, show us in. Let's watch the show,
else's
Marker.
problem. Yeah, come on in. So he leads you into this tent, and again, even though you know in your mind that the tent is made from like particles of paper that have been stretched and rolled and burned in different ways to make these different patterns, and words are flying all over it, your psyche cannot imagine that this is anything other than the real tent. The smells, the sounds, the sights, they're too similar, they're too real, the energy is real. And you
Jilroy,
see
is this
so as far as the psychological test, hundreds I have been in.
No wonder you're not doing so well.
Yeah, no. This is all happening. This is all.
So this is not like a possible reality.
This is all based on events that.
This is real reality.
That may be deep down in your psyche. That you made that.
So this is like watching your balls.
Yeah, kinda. You know, I do have a question though. from what I was watching, why is he trying to make us pay? I thought you were the leader of this. I thought you.
Yeah, I think there's just been a misunderstanding. When I stepped away for the our little side quest here with the heroes from Bridgmond, I kind of slipped away without telling a whole lot of people because it was just easier that way. So I think there's just been some confusion, but I'm sure we'll get it figured out after.
Starting to feel a very they kind of forgot about you. Just let's go inside and look at the show.
They don't seem like he remembered my name.
Let's
there must be some
let's just go watch the
confusion.
show. Let's just go watch the show.
Okay.
So as you guys go in and you sit down, the crowd around you is they're just so excited. And you see this lizard folk. He's a humanoid. He's very tall, not quite as tall as Jilroy over here.
Is he as handsome as Meryl?
He's different than Meryl.
Yeah, well, he's a lizard.
That's
Yeah.
what people say when they're more handsome. They don't want to say.
I'm different than you.
He's different than what you remember
That's
him.
a crazy thing to say.
When you found Ringo as kind of like a fledgling, he had been scrawny.
As an
he
egg?
had been he was a child. But
lizard child.
he was slightly younger than you. But he had been scrawny. He had been kind of territorial. You had essentially said like, come to the freak show, but like you can kind of work backstage so people don't have to see you. That is a very different vibe than what you're getting from him now. Instead, now the Count Ringo has styled essentially
spikes?
the spikes on
Scales?
his, like the spike, the webbed spike thing.
Yeah, the scales. Or his fin.
Well, it'd be
Yeah,
his
it's
fin.
like the top fin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be his fin.
So he has essentially kind of taken the top fin that he has always had on the top of his head and like stained it blood red, almost like a mohawk. He is beefed up quite a bit as well. He is looking very cut, and he is wearing a jacket very similar to yours, and it looks good. And as he's hyping up the crowd, he glazes over you, catches your eye, and smirks slightly before he calls to those off stage. And now it's time for what you've all been waiting for, the cannon. And he pulls out the cannon that at one point had your visage painted on the side of it.
Holy shit.
And now has the image of a flying lizard in the jacket. And he calls, you have all been waiting for the moment of the cannonball. And the crowd goes wild as we switch over to Misphi.
And when it pans over, you hear one little.
So Misphi, you're in this house. Okay, you're in a town. People know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
People know who you are. People recognize you. They remember you. And you're in the house that you grew up in, and it's a little bit stale.
Yeah, so I can't find my mom. So I'm gonna run outside and go to our next door neighbor. She's a little old lady named Greta.
Van Fleet.
Oh my
Sure.
God! Did you know that they named that from their teacher? Their teacher's name was Greta Van Fleet.
Mrs. Van Fleet.
Okay, so
Greta.
So you walk next door, okay? She lives like probably like a bit of like a big yard away, you know. So do you just go knock up on the door?
Yeah, but very loudly because I'm kind of in a panic.
Okay, so you're knocking on the door. Tell me what you say to try to get Greta to the door.
Greta! Greta, I'm trying to find my mom. Where is she?
I'm coming. I'm coming.
I love Greta.
Greta, come on!
She yanks open the door with like mild strength, and she's like, "Yes, oh, I know you."
Where's my chocolate?
This is what the fuck happens when you give me a name like Greta. This is who she becomes.
Greta, where's my mom?
I know you.
It's Misphi.
Oh, yes, the
little
Faewilde
wolf.
girl, the misfit. Yes. Yes. What did you say, girl?
I don't know why, but I got like a Monsters Inc. vibe.
Yes, same.
We're always watching, Wazowski. Always watching. Have you filed your paperwork?
Okay, you can't keep doing that or my voice will change to that. It's a problem.
Is your neighbor a giant slug?
I'm just gonna take her little old face in my hands
Kiss her. Oh, just kidding. I'm sorry.
and be like,
Your hands are cold.
my mom. Where is Faewilde?
Faewilde.
Faewilde. Tell me,
Yeah.
please.
Oh, yes, the tall one with the willowy face. Lived next door. Yes?
Yes, that one.
She's gone.
What?
Yes, she's her child kind of looked like you. She had a child.
She had a child.
The damn thing go wild.
I love Greta. We have to bring Greta back. She said 8 words. We have to bring her back. I love her.
Big Greta fan.
Big Greta fan.
Do you regret it?
And that brought me back. Okay.
Dad.
Yeah,
Where-
Laywin, she's gone. She had a child, kind of looked like you, a little bit. And the child left, and Laywin left.
Was she trying to come find me?
No, you? No, wait. Yes. Oh, yes, you, the child.
Yes,
You
Miss-
are the child.
Misphi Faewilde. That I am Laywin's child.
Oh, yes.
The orphan.
Yes, it's a quiet girl. All right. No need to shout. I'm old, not deaf.
Shut the fuck up.
So, yes, no, you left, and she said bye, and she brought me cookies. But she said you left, and she had dreams, and so she was going to chase those dreams. I don't dream anymore, so I don't know what she's talking about. But
What?
I
have
said
to
I
go
don't
find
dream
her.
anymore, so I don't know what she's talking.
Jilroy just
Talking about-
walks up behind Misphi and just puts his hand on her shoulder.
Oh, who is this? Did you have a boyfriend?
This is not my boyfriend.
She's in such a state. Poor Misphi.
I'm single. Hi.
TJ,
This is TJ. TJ, I'm Greta.
Oh, no. I am not TJ.
I'm still Greta.
My name is Jilroy. Nice to meet you, Miss Greta.
Yes. Miss Greta. You are child.
You're the child.
He's so polite. Bring him by again. Bring cookies.
This
And
lovely
then she
lady Greta is...
slams the door in your face.
That was rude.
She just shouts from inside, bring cookies.
I love Greta.
I love Greta.
Oh. Greta,
Cookies.
my mom.
Brought cookies.
So, Misphi, I mean, I have been through many of these psychological tests, and
Jilroy, where is my mom?
it seems like your mom may have abandoned you.
Damn.
And as he says this, we're going to switch over to TJ.
Damn.
In TJ's living room, where we have his dad, Cheep, kind of giving that weird grimace smile, and his cousin Lily, and his mom, he's like, "What? That's so cool! You got a ceremony. Do I need to wear anything special? I've got a great pair of pants. I've been complimented by many a person on these pants, especially Meryl, and he's got like a really great fashion sense. Lily, you met Meryl, right? And she's like, yeah. But you know what? Actually, TJ, I just don't think that maybe this would be really your scene. I don't think that you really would want to come to this one. And Cheep from the couch, now no longer smiling, says, "You're not invited, kid."
Hey, TJ, it seems like they're not validating your feelings. How does that make you feel?
And TJ looks and he's like, well, I don't really know what that means, but this is actually pretty on par for what conversations with good old Pops is. Dad, this is Jilroy. I don't remember if I introduced you. Mom. Can I, wait, not invited. What do we mean by that? She's like, oh, TJ, my teachers. Okay, so sweetie, here's the deal. All right, so you know how your father and his brother and everybody else was always born to lead and everything. That's great. Well, it turns out that your uncle's been murdered. So, your uncle's been murdered. So the wild thing is, I never really liked him anyway. But the point is that you know how your whole family has been born to lead, which I always thought was ridiculous. But yet here we are, and the town is looking for somebody to lead them. And your cousin Lily just showed up, and we just thought her name is literally Leader. Oh, isn't that so funny? And so the members of the town got together, and we know how your dad's not really the talking type, right, Chief? Yeah, don't worry about it. We still love you anyway, honey. But we just thought, wouldn't it be perfectly appropriate to have somebody named Leader in a leadership position? Anyway, so the town agreed, and so they're deciding to make her the new mayor. And that's what this is all about. So we just figured you might just be more at home LARPing in the basement. You know, playing pretend, finding
She
your friends.
gives me strong Whoville mom vibes.
She is 100% a Whoville mom.
Whoville mom core.
Yes.
I'm loving this.
And TJ just kind of looks up and says, well, I mean, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Did you know, I found Leader. I was looking for a leader, and I found her, and I helped stop my Uncle Mayor. He was a bad guy. Which, I mean, yeah, you're right, Mom. You always kind of knew that, and I didn't really want this to be the way that this came up. But he wasn't a good guy. And so I helped stop him. But why can't I go with Leader? Because I helped. I'm really good at helping. Aww. And his mom says, well, honey, I'm sure you probably thought you helped. And besides, you're right. Your uncle wasn't a very nice guy, but you were his guard. And so we know that there's some essence of you that probably still wants to guard that legacy. Do you know what a legacy is, sweetheart? It's where people, you know, they legacy. Yeah. And he's like, Mom, you told me to work for him, and I did. I stepped up, right, Dad. I mean, I know I'm not your favorite, but I'm your son, right? And then we're gonna switch over to Meryl.
Jesus.
Holy cow, man. All right.
As the crowd is vamping up, to you, everything seems to go quiet. The crowd is still moving around. The smell of the popcorn is starting to take on almost like a burnt smell. You see more of the people, the clowns, the sideshow people who had been your family ever since you realized. And you look over and Jilroy's 100% eating popcorn.
And folks, he really is.
He really is.
That was the best moment of today.
Yes, he really is eating popcorn. And you watch as the crowd quiets and this energy comes back, but it has a different tone. It's this kind of energy that comes around people who witness history happening. This moment where you see as the boy Count Ringo, who you had rescued and you had recruited, puts on a helmet with the help of Rydrin, who comes in clean shaven and looks at Count Ringo in a way that he's never looked at you before. He looks at him with love, with adoration, and with a protectiveness as he gently strokes Count Ringo's cheek.
His scaly cheek.
Oh no, it's smooth.
Oh.
It's smooth.
Wait,
It's like
I thought Count Ringo was the lizard.
He is a lizard, but if you've ever touched a
Oh.
lizard's face,
Hey, Meryl, I don't know, but just from looking out there, that coat he's got, man, why didn't you get a coat like that?
I don't mean to be rude, but I thought you were here to help.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like, there's just
I like
something-
my coat. What's wrong with my
there's just
coat?
Nothing. Your coat looks wonderful, but why is his coat just like glowing? Like, I thought you were.
Meryl is like open beaked, just sort of like looking back and forth. Like, I understand this is a challenge, but also like, I don't know. He's very like torn between whether he should believe that this is happening, because that would be like really painful for him and scary for him, because this is like his family. And it's like they've literally forgotten about him. And it really has not genuinely been that long, I don't think, timeline wise, in this whole quest that we've been on. So this is it, literally like one of his, obviously his like greatest like fears, like realized. So he's like trying to figure out if he should buy this as a game and think about it analytically, or if this is like actually happening. And so it doesn't matter how he thinks about it, like he can't stop it. So he's very much just like watching to see what'll happen next.
well, what you see as you're watching this moment between Rydin and Ringo is Ringo puts on a helmet that Rydin's like so delicately put on him, and he gives him a very delicate kiss on the cheek, and Ringo climbs into the cannon that you essentially brought into the circus.
Yeah, that's my canon. So
And Rydin takes a little bit of flame and he blows it onto, very theatrically, onto the wick of the cannon.
he's always so dramatic.
Just the way that he used to do for you. The two of you had built that little stint together. And he blows the fire as the fire breather of the crew onto this, and we see as the sound starts to rush back, and the crowd's counting down, and you see Ringo disappear into the cannon, and the cannon is aimed, and the cannon is charged, and it's pushed up, and you see Ringo launch himself in a way that you were only able to do because you had wings. And as he launches himself, instead of flying down dramatically the way that you had and pretending to catch a cannonball, instead, as he flies up majestically, he grabs on to one of the bars and he starts doing trapeze from the ceiling of this tent, to the astonishment of the crowd. And he flips up, and as he flips, the crowd holds their breath, and he does a perfect spin, and he lands from there. The crowd cannot believe it, but he lands from there shakily on the base of the tightrope, that you were never able to complete. The crowd goes wild. They start chanting his name, Ringo, Ringo, Ringo. And he flashes his coat and he smiles and he climbs down from the bottom of this tightrope and collapses into the arms of Rydin. They're so happy together.
Damn.
And this moment you recognize starts to rewind. The popcorn goes from Jilroy's mouth back into the bucket. Everybody.
Does that hurt? Jesus.
The crowd starts to dissipate. You go backwards and you're walking back into the tent again. And you see that same moment
Oh my god.
where Rydin is stroking the cheek of Ringo. And they're having this beautiful moment, just the two of them, as Rydin puts the helmet on. And you realize that you will be watching this over and over and over again. Replaceable, expendable. That you were never somebody who was in the spotlight forever.
Wow.
You know, I'm pretty sure Polly told me about a movie like that once.
Prairie Dog Day. Greta.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Stan. We're going to go to Stan. So Polly's tinkering around with your toes. Okay.
Yes. Tinker toes, if you will.
Tinker toes. Polly keeps touching her head and then your toes and your head. And I want you to roll a perception check.
12.
Okay. So with the 12, you recognize that as Polly starts to tap on your toes, they're feeling less tangible. Your very toes seem to almost be disappearing, just like becoming a little bit translucent. And Polly kind of skitters back from you and starts, Wait, no, that's a crow. I forgot how a Polly sounds.
There you go.
There we go.
I'll do.
It's the whole family. It's the whole family of the. Yeah. And she skitters back and turns her back to you. And she almost kind of looks back, but when she looks back, she just kind of looks at the entire expanse of the field that you're on. She doesn't really seem to lock eyes with you.
Polly, big guy, do you see my feet?
Jilroy has to bend way over. So
Or do they look a little translucent to you?
they definitely look different than normal.
I don't like that. I like my feet a very particular way. Polly, what happened? What happened to my feet? Can you see me?
As you say this, roll an insight check.
17.
As Polly looks, almost like she hears the sound of your voice, she looks, but she has no recognition that there's even a person there. She seems to see Jilroy, and she kind of caws out to Jilroy, but then she just keeps going back with her family.
Jilroy, I have a bad feeling here that I'm disappearing.
Well, that I am unsure, but I can tell you that. Did you know that prairie dogs can tell what people are wearing, and they can bring it back to their families? Just a little interesting fact there. With your problem, though,
He said, well, unfortunately, I can't help you, but you know what about prairie dogs?
I can tell you that this is the part that makes me want to cry inside.
Great, awesome. That's good news.
That's good news.
I don't know. I guess we're just gonna walk closer to the prairie dogs and see if they can tell that I'm here. I'm just. Things feel strange here.
As you walk closer, you hear them all kind of cawing out, like they can feel something. They're like, and some of them, not Polly, but some of them can't see you, and they're saying, they're like, I have to remember how to do this. We're just gonna copy and paste that from earlier. And hearing the ruckus, a couple of the halflings come out of the nearby building where the kids play and they do their community activities. And you see the tent flap come open and other little halflings. Oh, the prairie dogs, they're getting angry. What's going on? And then the other one tries to kind of and he's like, I told you can't speak prairie dog. That's not how this works. There was only one guy who could ever really talk to one of them, and he's long gone. And so the guys go back inside the building nearby, and they just kind of leave the prairie dogs be.
Well, I think that we should probably go let those guys know that the guy who can talk to the prairie dogs is not gone. He's right here. So we march our way into the tent.
So this tent is one that it's like the community tent, and you recognize this, Stan, as where all of the competitions took place, all of the foot beauty pageants, the talent shows, everywhere that you used to spend a lot of your time as a community member, especially after your parents disappeared. And it looks exactly the same. There's a little trophy cabinet where they have names and contest winners and everything. And you recognize your name in quite a few of them where you have been competing over the years. And as you walk in, you see that that it's full, right? This is a very full, lively community area. And you see many people that you recognize, many of the town elders, all of these halflings, some of them kind of more in regalia, some of them not, all of them with no shoes, just some of them just like rough tumbling each other because that's how they settle a lot of their disputes. It's just, who can wrestle or wrangle the other one the most. So there's like a couple of little scuffles here and there, kind of like the way that they run the government. And so what do you do?
Well, I recognize that guy over there. That's Birdie. He used to live close to where I'm where I spent most of my time. I guess we could go talk to him. Are you ready, big guy?
Yes.
Great. Now remember, we're all a lot smaller than you, so just tiptoes, if you will. And so we go over to one of the other halflings that we used to be a neighbor, and say hello. Hey, Birdie, how's it going? You remember me? It's Stan.
Stan, the halfling man with the big friend.
Yes.
With a big friend. Hello, I'm Birdie. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, this is my friend Big Guy. You can call him Big Guy.
Big guy, nice to meet you. I'm
Jilroy
Birdie.
slowly just raises his hand up in in very slow motion. He just kind of...
As he raises his hand, Birdie's like, whoa, settle down there, big guy. We're all friends here. Hey, so you said your name was Stan, right?
Yeah, Stan Smallman. You don't recognize me?
Smallman. I knew the Smallmans. Smallmans were, they were around. Actually, they had it's really eluding me. Anyway, yeah, I knew the Smallmans. They nice couple. It's a shame what happened to them. They even had did they have a little dog? No.
A son named Stan. Hey, it's me.
A son? No, that can't be right. It was some sort of ankle biter,
Yeah, that sounds right. I do love to bite an ankle. You said shame what happened to him. What do you mean?
Oh, any son of theirs would know. They just up and disappeared at one point. It's just it was really really unfortunate. We always thought that was real unfortunate because they left their
ankle biting son named Stan.
Yeah, their dog behind, and we just thought something must have happened to them because to leave a little guy like that behind, making him feel so forgotten, unimportant. That would really. But
you never figured out where they went.
No. In fact, the whole community took care of the ankle biter.
Right.
Something. Yeah, I don't remember. It was a while ago,
Yeah, maybe a guy named Dan or something.
Oh, maybe. We've got a Dan. He's on the city council now. Can you believe it? I didn't vote for him. But yeah, so, sorry, it's just my old brain's not what it used to be, but I can tell you what I had for lunch 3 weeks back. Isn't that the snot for you?
That's great. Well, Birdie, it was real good talking to you. We're gonna pop back outside, so see ya later. And we just back away and run outside.
He, as you retreat, he kind of looks at you and cocks his head and he waves. He's like, it's good to, and he kind of scratches his head God, I feel like there was something, weird. And so now you're outside. So we're gonna go ahead and switch over to Misphi. So Misphi, the door has been closed in your face. Greta has demanded cookies.
Rude.
Yes, and your mom is nowhere to be seen. She's left, apparently, according to Greta, to follow her dreams.
Lovely. Cersei, find Mom.
Roll a perception check.
12.
So with a 12, as you say, Cersei, find Mom, Cersei flies up from your shoulder, and she caws out just, and then she becomes one of the paper.
Cersei!
And she flies off, becoming one with the paper and folds itself
Misphi kind of runs after her,
origami-wise.
trying to grab at the pieces of paper.
She's gone.
Misphi just sits down and puts her hands in her face and cries.
And as Greta walks away from you, and Cersei flies away from you, and your mother moves away from you, and TJ moves away from you, you are alone and you are abandoned.
Not again.
And as you're sitting there stewing, what do you do? Is there anything to do?
Well, Misphi turns into a wolf.
This is drink.
And Misphi just sits there as a wolf and howls.
Poor Misphi.
Misphi.
I want to hear what this wolf sounds like, by the way, this howl. That's beautiful. That was mournful.
That was really mournful. That was honestly stellar performance.
So at this point, this is where, just meta, okay? We're going to be shifting. So now you see the situation that you are all in, okay? Stan seeming forgotten, unimportant. Meryl seeming expendable and replaceable. Misphi seeming alone and abandoned. And TJ seeming untrusted and invalidated. And now this is the moments where you are going to be working with Jilroy to figure out how do you get out of here. So in this part, I'm gonna basically have you guys choose what order you wanna go in. Or would you rather us roll for initiative for that?
I feel like we should rather roll.
Okay, so go ahead and, roll for initiative.
Let's roll.
I got a 9.
I got to 1.
Oh, Jesus. Did you
12.
add your initiative?
Or
honey?
I got to 3.
Well, that's better than a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you got a, how much?
A 3? Nor a 3.
Who got a 12?
I did. Misphi.
So we're gonna switch over to TJ. So TJ is sitting in the living room, and his parents, essentially just said that he's not valuable enough to have at this ceremony where his cousin's going to be elected mayor. And TJ just grabs Jilroy your pants, and he's like, we're just gonna be in the basement LARPing, like you said, carry on. And then he grabs you and he starts pulling you down to the basement. Do you go willingly? I guess I should ask.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so as you guys go down into the basement, he closes the door and he puts his hands on his knees and he starts breathing really, really heavily. He's like, what are you doing to me, Jilroy? This isn't very nice, and we're supposed to be bros, and I just need to get out of here and find my Misphi.
Jilroy then embraces TJ
Aw, cuddle man.
and tells him, you are worth more than your family is making you out to be. You need to give yourself the confidence to understand that you are someone. You are smart, you are brave, you are strong, you belong. You need to face that. You need to stand up for yourself.
But what if they're right? But what if I'm just some guy who LARPs in the basement while everybody else runs the town?
If that's the case, then why does it matter? If you're happy with that, then who cares what they think?
And TJ thinks for a moment as he looks at his LARPing corner of the basement. And he looks at Jilroy and he says, You'll be behind me, right? No matter what?
Right behind you, buddy.
My dad's pretty scary.
And I'm 7'5".
That's the t-shirt.
And I'm
My dad's pretty scary, and I'm 7'5".
So TJ, he straightens up his shoulders and he straightens up his pants and he's like, then maybe I think we should go talk to my dad.
And
Hell
as
yeah, TJ.
and as TJ says that, I kind of give him like a slap on the butt.
Oh,
And I'm like,
Yeah, bro.
go get him, champ.
beautiful. Misphi, let's switch over to you. So you're on the porch, on the steps in your wolf form.
Yep.
And Jilroy's next to you.
I'm just howling. Still crying.
Jilroy walks over to Misphi and sits down, puts his hand in front of her nose, like you're supposed to do with a dog that's upset.
He knows that from all of his reading.
Yes, yeah,
And
he
I
knows a lot of
sniff it.
things, so.
And I slowly just start petting Misphi, and I just tell her, be like, we all feel abandoned sometimes. and you may think everyone has left you, but look at the camaraderie and the friendship that you have achieved. You're never alone.
Misphi's gonna run out into the woods.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go back to the spot where I was found as an orphan. And I'm going to investigate.
Okay. Roll an investigation.
Not one.
With that, you know that this is the area that you were left, or that you were found, so to speak.
I'm gonna just start ripping up branches and stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna start biting things. Anything that gets in front of my face.
Could find some ankles.
Tree ankles. Roots.
Trankles.
Roots are just
Trankles
trankles.
is like a cankle, but for trees.
Yes. So as you're doing this, let's switch over. Stan. You go outside, and I want you to roll a perception check.
Oh, Jesus. I got a nat 1.
Man, we're
Wow.
I'm not very
We're
perceptive.
really, our emotions are really clouding our
I'm
ability to
perceptive.
perceive.
Yeah. So with that, you're outside. Jilroy's next to you. You feel your toes like, they were starting to fade whenever Polly was looking at you. What do you do? What's the plan?
Well, big guy, I'm having a little bit of a hard time. I'm not usually one to really get in my emotions, but it doesn't feel good going home and knowing nobody knows who you are, you know?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. So what other than it just doesn't feel good, I want to see some raw emotion out of you. What is it that you are feeling? Give me your truest feelings. Tell me exactly what you're thinking.
Well, if I'm honest, I think I'm just really angry. I'm getting a little bit full of rage, I guess. I've put a big stamp on this little town. My name's all over the wall, and not a person knows who I am. That's how I feel, big guy.
So I'm gonna have you. You're outside, right?
Yes.
Polly's over there with her family. You just came out of the building. Birdie doesn't remember you. This town is like this settlement. Really, is where you grew up. Are there any other parts of the settlement that you recall?
Well, really the times where I the places I spent most of my time were in the rage rooms and at home, I guess. We could go home. You want to go home?
I don't know where home is, but sure, I will follow you.
All right. Well, it's the only other option we have, I guess. So we'll head that way. And so we turn away from the tent and start walking in the opposite direction towards Stan's little hut that he grew up in with his parents.
So as you approach the little hut is still there. It's still untouched from when you were last there. By all accounts, and it even has like a little sign out front that says Smallman's Residence. And as you go inside, everything looks the way you left it. What does it look like inside?
Well, inside there are 2 little rooms. It's small because we're small, so I don't really know that you're gonna fit inside, big guy. You might want to just, hang out at the door, if you will, just in case mom and pops come home one day. They don't want the hut to be destroyed by you big guy over there. So it's just a couple rooms. We have a little kitchen area right inside to the right, and to the left there's 2 bedrooms, one for mom and dad and one for myself. Really, it's pretty small. I was the tallest of all of us, so it's probably only about 6 feet tall total. And there's really nowhere else. Everybody spends all their time in the community center, so there was no need for a big living space or anything like that. We just slept and ate here. So.
And Jilroy, I want you to roll a perception check.
Height check. Roll for how good your knees are to
be able to squat.
through the door.
14. So with a 14, as you're looking around, like with pretty much just like your head and part of your shoulders peeking in there, you see, very, very small, very quaint, very neat. And on the corner table, you see like 2 little trophies that have one has a little foot on it.
Little foot.
One has a little flute. And as you look at those, they say, Stan Smallman, champion of feet.
Stan, I am noticing some very nice looking trophies over there. You want to tell me about those?
Oh yeah, look at that. That's when I got my prettiest feet trophy when I was younger.
We're in a foot pageant. I know I'm not here, but I just have.
Yes,
I think it was
it was my fun facts. You don't remember my fun facts very well.
I didn't remember that. That's amazing. Sorry. Wow, a foot pageant.
Thank you. I got second place but you know what? It's okay because I still got the trophy, and that's a big deal. And the other one, I'm pretty sure that's when I played the flute with my feet for a talent show. That was a big one too. It took me a long time to learn Faewilde, so.
I thought you played it with your nose.
No, I think it was with the toes. Was it with the toes or the nose?
Well, who knows? It could have been both. Gotta push the keys somehow.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
It was with the nose toes.
Nose toes.
Nose and
The
toes.
nose toes.
But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, over in the community center too, my name was everywhere, but it's just like nobody remembers that I'm here.
So you would say that you are getting forgotten?
Yeah, I guess so. That's why my mom and dad left. They forgot I was here, so I guess everybody else did too.
Jilroy goes up and tries to give Stan a hug without destroying the whole hut.
Boom, boom.
And Jilroy then looks at Stan and goes, from what I've watched in your adventures, you will never be forgotten. Everybody will always remember Stan Smallman. It's too hard to not remember Stan Smallman. Your friends will always remember you. And I think the way for you to push forward would be to understand that only those important people in your life will remember.
Wow. Got a lot of insight in there, big guy. Must be that magic ball.
Your magic balls.
So we're going to move from you, Stan, while you're thinking about that, to Meryl. So this scene has restarted. You're watching once more as the former love of your life, Raiden, the fire breather, gives Ringo a very delicate, graze of the cheek, looks at him with love and adoration.
Smooth damn lizard cheeks. What are you doing?
And he attaches the helmet and turns around to try to get him into the cannon, doing the same skills that used to be yours and Raiden's together, and over and over and over again. Yeah,
that does not look great for you. I think when Meryl realized what was going on, he went from being like very shocked to all of a sudden being like very kind of like quiet and like cold. All of a sudden, very like, got it. Like I see how it is. Is there like where? So I'm walking into the tent again. Where is like the ring, like the performers and stuff? Like what's between me and the stage? Like where am I?
So the ring is essentially a very short, like maybe 6 inches tall, like ring keeping the sand inside, and you're walking like basically to your left are the stands that you would sit in. The ring is probably like 6 feet in front of you, and it like circles around, and the stands are probably like 4 feet back from the ring.
And are they on the far side or like the side closer to me, or like where are they?
They're probably about 15 feet away. So they're like on the far side. Like if you're sitting on the stands, they're on the left-hand side. So directly in front of you walking in is where they are at, because they're going to be firing the cannon toward the tallest part of the tent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So then I think Meryl just immediately kind of like sets his jaw and just like makes straight for Raiden. correct? Riding at the cannon, like as he's like turning to help Count Ringo get into the, like as Ringo's like going into the cannon, he's gonna like try and like approach him and like tap him on the shoulder.
As Rydran turns around, he's like, Meryl, man, Meryl, it's really good to see you.
Really?
Yeah, welcome back to the show. It's been a while.
It really hasn't been that long.
Well, you remember Count Ringo, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's looking great.
Yeah, he really is.
Right. So I'm a little bit confused because I don't remember us having an understudy lined up for this, and I haven't been gone that long. So obviously, I'm happy somebody could step in, but it looks like you've done some renovations.
Well, I mean, Meryl. And he looks out at the crowd, who's kind of confused at this development, and he looks back at you. He's like, Meryl, you left, man. I mean, like I can't get into it here with all these people, but that's like your thing, isn't it? Right? Like you get the spotlight, and then you leave, and you left. And we couldn't just stop doing things. We had to keep going, man.
No, what I told you before I left, you took that and you thought this was how you should respond?
Meryl, it's not always about you. Sometimes the circus, the show has to go on, even if you're not the show, Meryl.
Wow, yeah. Well, wouldn't you like to see a show? And I think Meryl's gonna jump straight up above him, and like Meryl is like pissed and has completely, I think for a second, lost the fact that this is like, he's supposed to be like accomplishing something. In this moment, he's like upset. And I think he's gonna try and he's gonna stick his head into the cannon and be like, hey, Ringo, do you think you could get out of there for just a second? There's an issue with the cannon, and we just need to double check it. Good to see you again, by the way. You're looking really good. Nice pecs. Will you get out of there real quick, please, for me? Now.
Ringo just kind of slowly unfurls. Oh, Meryl, it's good as you.
Come on, we need out, now.
He like fumbles out, and he. I'm actually gonna roll an acrobatics check for him to see if he actually like looks good doing this or not. Got a 6. He looks terrible doing this. He like kind of rolls out and he falls out onto the ground.
And so then Meryl, like very daintily, like leaps up and like slides himself into the cannon.
I'm gonna have you roll an acrobatics check for that. We'll say acrobatics or performance.
Performance. 7.
Ooh, okay. So he fumbles out, you fumble in, you kind of fall nose first, like
Fair.
just very, like your feet are kind of just hanging out at the moment.
Perfect.
And Rydran's just kind of whispering like, Meryl, you're ruining the show.
Light the fuse. So I'm screaming from inside the cannon because I was gonna do it in like a cute way, but that's fine.
And the crowd just starts going, light the fuse, light the fuse. And Rydran grabs his bottle of like swishy alcohol stuff that, fire breathers use.
And right before he does that, Meryl like has flipped himself around because he has to be head first when he gets shot out of this or he's gonna die.
Correct.
So he flips himself around. It's just not graceful. And right before he like goes all the way in, he looks out at Ryden and he's like, unless you don't think I can do it.
And Ryden looks at you and he turns and he looks at Count Ringo and he's like...
And before he hears it, he just goes all the way in to he doesn't want to hear it. He has no need to hear that response.
Okay. So Rydran takes his little swish and he goes... And he lights the fuse and the fuse goes... And everybody's just holding their breath. And Ringo kind of straightens up his jacket and he stomps to the side. And then he turns to the audience and puts on a winning smile. Now we will see a new person.
Not new.
Fired from the cannon. Meryl, my understudy.
Oh...
I didn't call you Meryl Peep.
And
Stan?
I am going to have you roll an acrobatics check as this goes off.
Okay.
You have to beat.
Could I do a performance for this one or not?
No, needs to be acrobatics for safety purposes.
That's fair.
I'm going to say you have to beat a 15 to land safely.
Okay. I got an 8.
Does that include your modifier?
Yeah. Oh, I got a 9.
So and you know this because you're in the circus, but the whole lighting of the fuse is all just theatrical. The actual function inside of there is actually spring loaded. It's rubber. It's rubber springs. Holler at me for knowing this now that I've done a shit ton of research.
Yes.
So it's actually rubber springs, and when you launch down, your talon gets caught a bit in this spring because of the way that it had been altered to accommodate the lizard guy. And so as you shoot forward, you clear the cannon, but instead of going up, you tumble forward, like the cannon tilts with the change in the weight, and you kind of roll and tumble onto the ground. And the audience just collectively gasps, and there's silence. And the Ringo's just like, and that's why he's the understudy, folks.
And Meryl is like, that's so crazy. Meryl is laying in a heap in the dirt with his little coat.
So Jilroy goes running over to Meryl and just kind of bends down. And he's all like, I know this doesn't help right now, but did you know that there have been more than 30 reported deaths and human cannonballs? I was trying to give you this bit of information before you selfishly put yourself in the spotlight again. But hence here we are.
That
is true, actually. There have been over 30 deaths related to being human
That
cannibals.
was such a great moment for that. I mean, that was impeccable timing.
I was trying to
Oscar
tell
for
you
best
before you went
timing.
in there.
Did you know?
The Oscar for best timing goes to.
That's hilarious.
Wow. So yeah, Meryl looks way up at you from his dirt heap. And you've never really like seen him look quite like this. I mean, you haven't seen a lot of him, but
Well, through the ball he has.
that's true. You have seen a lot of me in your balls.
And I have seen a lot of you in my shiny balls.
Your shiny balls, yes. So that has happened. And I think he is like that bravado that he's always like giving off, and like the kind of silly nonchalance and confidence that he normally gives off is like not there in that moment, even though everyone can see him. And normally he keeps this up because like he's so used to being in the public eye and like being observed all the time by everyone. He's like, keeping this like front up, and it's just for a second, it's like gone. And he's got like one little tear in his little bird eye, but he like is like trying so hard to not like,
Not
like,
a bird.
As
I'm
that
not
tear
doing this.
starts to fall and that vibrato starts to fade, you notice that the things surrounding you, all of the paper that has formed this world, starts to crumble just a little bit. And as you suck that tear back up, it goes back. It goes normal. And it becomes a circus again.
It's like a kaleidoscope.
So yeah, Meryl looks up, way up at Jilroy. And he's like, Jilroy, I appreciate that piece of information. I do appreciate that. And I appreciate that I did not do the best job at receiving it at the appropriate time. This is just not what I expected when I came home.
I can see that. I don't know if you noticed, but when you shed that tear, you've seen a shift. To you, what does that mean?
Well, I've always kind of had to put on a strong front for everyone, because I came up from nothing and I became the ringmaster, and everyone needed to see that I was strong, and I think I needed to see that too. And now seeing that it's like none of that mattered, because I've really always been looking for where I came from. I've never met another Aarakocra like me. I've never even seen one. I've always been alone, and the circus has been my family. And to be able to have recognition from the crowds, that was just, I was glad that the circus could be successful. And I mean, I enjoy the performance, but it was really the freaks in the circus that were why I stayed. They were my family.
So from what I've seen, it seems like maybe if you pull yourself from the spotlight and understand that it's okay to not be the center and it's okay to not be the person, the guy everyone comes to see, and be at peace with that, I think that's your way out.
And so Meryl kind of like looks thoughtfully back at Ringo the Star. And and Raiden. And then he looks back at you, and now he has one tear, and it's making it, it's like little way down his feathered jawline. He's like, even if that means that I'm not the most important to anyone, and I'm supposed to be okay with that.
Have your friends ever let you down? Your friends that you've been adventuring with?
The mystical everyday heroes?
Of course. I've seen you guys. You guys are amazing together. Not either one of you is above the other. Why can't you just step out of the spotlight and just be okay with your friends?
Well, maybe I should have been a little bit more willing to open up before, and they wouldn't have felt like they needed to replace me so quickly, because maybe they would have understood. Maybe I need to do that with my heroes too, because they've never let me down.
So I think your way out maybe would be to go to Ringo and the other people here in the circus and maybe just be happy for them.
Oh my God.
Maybe give a nice handshake. What's the worst that's going to happen?
What is the worst that's going to happen?
You're already living your hell.
Yeah, and that really hurt.
So
I didn't roll for damage, but it felt like it hurt.
So you have the power to get yourself out of this. You know what you need to do.
So he stands up, Meryl stands up and shakes the dirt off of himself. And he looks up at you, at Jilroy, and says, "Thank you."
Jilroy just nods.
And then he very slowly takes off his big circus coat, and he kind of thoughtfully carries it over to the side of the ring, and he just kind of like drops it outside of the ring and looks at it for a second. And then he kind of like jerks his head at Jilroy and walks out of the tent. And he waits for it to, he's going to wait for it to reset so he can go try and fix what he screwed up.
So as you walk out and Jilroy walks out with you, it resets. And you walk in, the crowd is cheering. The ring only has Rydrin and Ringo there. Rydrin is smiling lovingly at Ringo as he's affixing a hat or a helmet onto Ringo's head. Ringo's wearing his coat. Everybody's cheering for him. And they're lovingly looking into each other's eyes. What do you do?
Can I just clap from a distance? I'm just kidding. All that for me to go.
Attaboy.
Attaboy. Yeah, I will make my way with significantly less aggression up to the cannon and tap them both on the shoulder.
Rydrin turns around and says, "Oh, Meryl. Oh, welcome back, man. We're kind of in the middle of something."
Yeah, I can see that. I just wanted to tell you that I was back. And I'm sorry. I got caught up in the middle of something and some people needed help, but I'm back. And I just wanted to say I'm excited to see the show.
Oh. And you can see that both of the two of them are noticeably surprised. And Ringo puts his hand kind of on the back of his neck and kind of strokes his mohawk thing, and he says, "That's really awesome, Meryl. I've always looked up to you, so I hope I can fill your shoes okay."
Well, I never wore shoes, but I bet you'll do all right.
And as you say that,
I'm proud of you both, and I'll be watching. And then he kind of like smiles and gives like an extra little look to Raiden, and then he goes to find a seat.
as you go to sit down, the entire circus tent slowly folds like origami pieces and folds away the words that were scribbled on different parts. You suddenly make out like how they say cheer and person as like they were being labeled for the illusion. And they start to fold away until you, and they form a way out for you. And as you begin walking out with Jilroy in tow, a piece of paper extends from the tunnel, and it extends itself to you as a token. That says you are not expendable.
It does. That's so cute.
Good for 1 advantage that you can use in the next round.
Ooh, okay.
And as Jilroy is following Meryl out, you see Jilroy just sobbing.
Jilroy, it's okay. I'm all right.
Jilroy,
all right.
I have never completed this test, and I'm so happy that you could.
Wow. Well, maybe we'll get you there. It's gonna be all right. Thanks for your help. I couldn't have done it without you.
You are most welcome.
You're good. You're so good. And so Meryl has made it back to the lobby, and you are actually able to see the other challenges take place.
This is a nice lobby. These are a lot of big TVs.
They're balls.
A lot of balls.
A lot of big balls in this lobby.
Welcome to my shiny balls.
Wow, look at that ball over there.
It's super meta too because
That
you can
one's the
see
Super Ball.
You can see the Jilroy with you and the Jilroy in all of the other scenes too.
Who's doing the halftime show? This is crazy.
Jilroy.
So
God, he's busy.
Let's switch over to TJ. TJ climbs up with Jilroy behind him, and he's taking his hands. His hands are sweaty, and he's rubbing them on his pants. And he's straightening his pants, making sure his pants look really good. And he stands up and he climbs up the stairs, and he goes into the living room where his mom and his cousin and his dad are, and he says, everybody, I have an announcement to make. And then he turns to make sure that Jilroy's still with him. You're still with me, right?
Hey, man, sit up. Push your chest out.
Chest. Chest. Pants.
Say it with your chest.
Father. And she's like, TJ. And he's like, Mother. She's like, yes, baby, I'm right here. I've been here the whole time. She's like, and leader. He's like, TJ, you're starting to freak me out. He's like, I understand why you think that I'm not somebody who should be around this family. But even though I LARP in the basement, and even though I hang out with dude bros, and even though I do stuff that's kind of silly sometimes, I'm part of this family. And my name is Town Justice. Only my bros call me TJ. And you haven't been my bros for a very long time. And I have good ideas. And I have, sometimes I don't always use them really well. And I don't always have, sometimes I don't aim well and I give myself an ear piercing. But I still try. And Misphi loves me. And Misphi trusts me. And Stan and Meryl and Alfonso. And I just met this guy, but he even trusts me. And he's bigger than you are, Dad. He's like 7 foot tall. And I don't need you to trust me for me to be trustworthy. And then he turns to Jilroy. He's like, that was pretty good, right?
Jilroy pounds his chest, and he's like, squad goals!
Squad goals!
Squad goals. Hell yeah.
This is my bro, and I don't want to hear any more about it. And if you go to a ceremony, that's great, leader, but I'm coming too, and I'm going to stand there and support you because I'm proud of you, because you're trustworthy too. And that's all I've had to say. And his dad just kind of casts a side eye at him, and his mom kind of wipes the tear from her eye, and leader's like, sure. The ceremony is like in a couple of hours. I guess you're welcome to go. I just didn't think it was your scene. He's like, are these pants okay? Because I really like these pants. They've served me well. She's like, Town Justice, your pants are fine. I would love it if you were there. He's like, great, good, great. Yes. I will be there. And then you see that, like, from your spot, Meryl, you see that his archway formed as he kind of took his own trustworthiness. And he didn't rely on his parents anymore to be his trustworthy. And he also got a token for being trustworthy. And it is also good for 1 advantage.
Aw.
And then we...
Yay! I love TJ.
And then he shows up and he walks into the lobby.
TJ!
And he hugs you and he's like, Meryl, it was so hard. Oh.
Yeah, that was not an easy one. I'm glad nobody saw.
My
mine.
dad was there.
Jesus, that would have been
My
really
dad was there
embarrassing.
and he didn't like my
Yeah,
pants.
no, that's okay. He's patting TJ on the back. It's all right, buddy.
He's
it's all right. You did
sopping.
it. I'm so proud of you. You did it.
was
We
so
did
hard.
it. Yeah. Wow. All right. We need a towel.
Yeah. Misphi, let's cut over to you. You are in the woods.
TJ, you want to watch these balls? Misphi's in this one. Look, Misphi's in these balls. Yeah. Yep. Right over there. Let's watch.
So you're in the woods. You're biting at anything that comes at you. You're in wolf form.
Yep. I'm raging.
You're as raging as a druid can rage.
Wow. Yeah. That's
Yep.
pretty scary.
And then I just kind of stop. I just kind of try to catch my breath. And I come out of my form. Back into human form. Or half elf form, sorry. And then I kind of think to myself, wait, this is a test. I should be calm. And so, forget-me-nots start coming out of my hands as I druid craft them.
Mm-hmm.
And I sit in a meditative form in the middle of the forest. I just kind of meditate and be one with nature and try to come down to my senses.
As you meditate and you go into the state of calm, I want you to roll an investigation with advantage.
16.
So with the 16, as you're meditating with those forget-me-nots around you, you look up toward the tree where you were originally found by your mother, and you see a small blown glass wolf that's been placed on this tree. And it's new. You know that this is not something that's been there for a long time, so it's relatively fresh.
Wait, Jilroy, what is this? I go up and I kind of take the glass ornament off the tree, and I look at it. I don't remember this one. Do you remember this one?
That is fairly new to me. Did you and your mom not make glass things when you guys were younger? Is this something maybe your mom could have left behind for you?
Maybe. So that I would always remember her. And that she'd be back. I'll never be abandoned again.
And as you say that, the woods around you fold away. The glass wolf kind of comes alive in your hand and jumps off of your hand and becomes one with the pages, and your own archway forms. And as you walk through the archway, you get your own token extended to you.
Aww. It says you are not alone.
With an advantage on a roll anytime in the next challenge.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting all emotional over
Yeah,
here.
wow, this is so sweet.
And as you enter into the lobby, you see TJ sobbing uncontrollably against a very confused and exhausted Meryl. He's like, Misphi!
Yep. Yeah,
Misphi
look, there
runs
she
over
is.
to
There
him
she
and plants
is.
a big old kiss on his mouth.
Oh, God.
And then
Okay.
Circe comes over as well. Circe, who's in the corner, she comes over, flies onto your shoulder, since she was in here the whole time during the challenge, because she was like the one that you saw in your vision was part of the experience. And while you guys are watching this last one, we go over to Stan. And Stan, we are in your house. You were looking at your trophies. Part of you was fading away. I want you to roll a perception check.
Oh, that would be a 6.
Actually, I'm going to have you roll another one. I'm going to have you roll this with advantage because you're holding the trophy in your hand.
Luckily, this one's a 4.
You're not doing a very good
What the
job of rolling
actual
the
fuck,
dice.
Stan?
Good thing we have Jilroy.
Jilroy, I'm gonna have you roll perception as well.
17.
So Stan's so emotional over seeing the trophies in his hands that he doesn't see this, but you see that as Stan's holding this and he's kind of not really acknowledging his issues, his name starts to fade from the trophy in his hand. And so there's 2 trophies. The first one starts to just take away the word Stan and end with Smallman. Just ever so slowly. So Stan, what do you do as you and Jilroy are looking at these?
Stan, look. You need to look at the trophy, Stan. I think your name is disappearing from it.
Jilroy, what's happening? Why is it disappearing? It's just like what happened to my feet. And I really need those.
Well, I mean, one always needs their feet, Stan. That's how we walk.
Especially me.
Especially you, Stan.
Yeah, your feet are famous.
Yes. Famous feet, famous footwear.
This is my
if you will.
commentary for watching the balls.
Stan's famous footwear.
That's amazing. New line of shoes.
Okay.
No shoes. New line of dirt.
New line of feet.
So, Stan, I would have to say to you, what is it that you would think is happening? Like, clearly you can see that things are disappearing, but in your mind, why? Why would this be happening?
Well, I think it's just because I'm so scared of being forgotten. And because I want everybody to remember me, I forget that I'm not gonna be forgotten because I'm right here. These trophies and the plaques, they don't actually mean anything, I guess. It's the people you spend the time with and the memories they have of you that matter. I guess if my name disappears from the trophy, it doesn't matter. I still won in my heart, big guy. My feet'll always be the prettiest in this town, whether they remember it or not.
That was so beautifully said, Stan.
Yeah, wow.
So beautifully said.
I want that on my tombstone.
As you say this, the trophy in your hand starts to fold away from existence, and you look up to see an origami foot place itself in the wall as it folds away, and it has 6 toes on the foot. And in that 6-toed hole in the wall becomes the arch, where you get your own token as you walk out.
Hey, Jilroy, what does it say?
The token says you are important,
Wow.
Aww.
and it
I
is
like
good
these
for
tokens.
1 advantage.
Amazing.
As you're all in the lobby now, you feel now that you are all together, and Jilroy's there, and Circe's crowing on your shoulder. All of your, I don't think any of you used any spell slots or health or anything.
I must have lost some health, but now I'm just tired.
Yeah. All of you are able to rest for a minute before the next challenge, as Jilroy is over there getting himself together in the corner. You can see like that the lobby kind of produces tissues for everybody as TJ just like collapses into Stan, and he's like, Stan, my best friend. My dad was there.
Oh,
Oh God,
Teach.
my dad was there and my pants didn't matter.
Oh, Teach, not the
He didn't
pants.
even care about my pants. And they didn't think I was
man.
trustworthy, but
Buddy,
I knew I
it's
was
gonna be all right.
trustworthy.
I love those pants.
I love you, Stan. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, and Polly forgot you, but I don't think she really forgot you.
He's been having a really tough time.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right, Teach. We got ya.
I don't want to do the next challenge.
And Misphi kind of like gives everyone like a group hug sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, bring it in, guys. That was really that was tough.
Even Jilroy.
Are you guys okay?
Well, we made it out alive, didn't we?
Looks like it.
I think so.
I don't want to do that kind of challenge again, Jilroy.
Jilroy then looks at the whole group, and while he's sobbing himself,
Yeah, no wonder you're not doing well.
because
God.
he is so excited that he was able to finally guide a successful group through their biggest fears.
I couldn't have done this without you, Jilroy.
He looks at you all,
He's
and
taller than my dad.
he looks at you all, and he says, I love you all, and congratulations, you guys have officially passed your second challenge.
Thank you, Jill.
Oh, we love you too, Jilroy. You're just an everyday hero like us, you know?
Thank you so much. That makes me so happy.
Congratulations.
I think we could say you are an official member of the Pants Club.
Yeah, you've got some good pants on you,
You've
kid.
Thank
been
you.
pants.
Thank
If you can't beat him, pants him.
Handsome. Yeah, that's what this weird
That's
kid
the
says.
motto.
So, yeah.
Now that you guys are rested, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but please remember that there is still one more challenge.
Meryl cracks his neck.
I don't think we can talk ourselves out of this one.
No, I don't think so. But honestly, I think I'd prefer that. I'd rather not have to do that one again.
I'm so glad to be here with all of you guys.
I'm glad to be with you, but maybe not here.
In the balls
Jilroy.
lobby?
And the balls lobby.
Yeah.
This is just a lot.
could
The
probably,
Ball pit.
The ball
Ball pit. Oh gosh.
Yeah, that being said, when this challenge happens, just be strong and know yourself. And I know you guys will be able to get through it. And I will be here with my ever wonderful knowledge that may be useful or may not be.
And that's where we'll end today's episode. Woo! Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Mystical Everyday Heroes.
Mystical everyday therapy.
Yes.
Everyday therapy available near you. Go to therapy, people.
Go to therapy. It's really good. It airs out the pores and the soul. Without further ado, we are a new podcast, so a couple of plugs here at the end. Make sure that you comment, rate, subscribe, do all those YouTube-y thingies, even though it's a podcast, because subscriptions do better, and that way you can hear whenever we're getting more of our ridiculous tomfoolery. And also, if you like this music that's playing in the background right now, definitely check out Husband Matt's music for your own D&D game. Buy my book if you like emotional stuff that's all so full of turmoil. Buy The Archivist's Apprentice. It's available on Amazon, written by yours truly. Kailyn, can you give us our social media plugs?
Yes, you can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Mystical Everyday Heroes to see when our new episodes are coming out and to engage in some fun content.
Beautiful. All right. Well, that's all we have for this episode, guys. We will see you in another 2 weeks.
Stay mystical
Stay heroes.
Amen.
every day.
Every day.
Like a kaleidoscope.
So I'm going to tell you guys, the way out of this challenge is to have your come to Jesus moment. Just letting you know that.
Ready to meet Jesus.
I'm ready
Take the wheel.
to meet Jesus.
Amen.
Ready
Guys, we could make
to meet Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Yes. Wow.
Wow.
Something.
Ready. Yeah, we have to put that at the end.
Yeah.
That was perfect. Yeah.